Yesterday, I was practicing pentatonic scale. I was practicing E minor pentatonic scale and G major pentatonic scale on between 7 and 10 fret, and I started the E minor pentatonic scale on the fifth string E, and the highest note that I play was D, and and I use pentatonic scale shape to play the scale. And I play the E minor pentatonic scale all the way to the 10th fret, first string, to get the D, and I wanted to give a name to the shape, and the way I did it was to take to call it according to the number of the highest note that I play in the shape, and that was a D for E minor pentatonic scale, so that's 7. So I call it position of 7th, and then from one shape, I got two pentatonic scale, E minor pentatonic scale, G. So I can play, then I play the G major pentatonic scale. So from one shape, I play 2 pentatonic scale. Okay, I played E minor pentatonic scale and the G major pentatonic scale, and I call the E minor pentatonic scale position of 7th, because the 7th note, because it's a D, that is 7th note in the scale, and the G major pentatonic scale, I call it position of 5, because in the G major scale, D is the 5th note, note number 5 in the scale. Yeah, but when I practice, and I always have the guitar beginners, the beginners in mind. So excuse me. Since I've used for the E minor pentatonic scale, I used position in the video that I posted yesterday. I used the position of 7. That's what I said, and that's what it is. So some beginners may be asking, well, there's only 5 notes in the pentatonic scales. Why I'm saying 7? Well, it's because that when I'm not thinking about the pentatonic scales, I'm thinking about the scales that the pentatonic scales come from, and we know that the major pentatonic scale comes from the major scale, and the major scale has 7 notes. So from the 7 notes, we pick 5 notes, and each note in the major scale has a number: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, until you get to the octave, which is actually 1, because it's a repeat of of the root. An example, if you play the C major scale, you're going to play C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and back to C. You're back to C octave. So from those 7 notes, you only pick 5. So those are number 1, C, number 2, D, number 3, E, number 5, G, and number 6, A. So there's no 4, there's no 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 from the major scale. So if I'm saying I'm playing in a major pentatonic scale in the position of 5, position of 5, position of 6, position of 3, I'm thinking about the numbers in the major scale, the note numbers in the major scale. Okay, so I remember saying that yesterday in the video that I posted. Like I said early, like I just said, I was practicing the E minor pentatonic scale in the position of 7th. Okay, and how, well, I say 7th, but we only have 5 notes. Well, like I said, I'm thinking about the notes in the major scale. So the minor pentatonic scale, comes from the Dorian scale, the Dorian mode. And the Dorian mode is nothing but starting your major scale on the 2nd degree, on the 2nd note of the scale, and play it all the way to the octave of that 2nd note. In the C major scale is the D. You play from D to D, and that's the Dorian mode of the C major scale. You don't change anything. All the notes stay the same as they were in the C major scale. You just start the scale from a different note, and those are modes. And each mode has a distinctive name and a distinctive sound. So I know let's say the C minor, for example, the C minor pentatonic scale comes from the Dorian scale. But since my videos mostly are for beginners, I'm not going to be too technical, at least not now. I'm going to say that to play the 5 notes of the minor pentatonic scale, I'm going to go back to I'm going to go back to the major scale. Let's say the C major scale, for example. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the minor scale is like this. Okay, the 5 notes of the 5 notes of the minor pentatonic scale, they are 1, back to the major scale, okay? 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7. That's 5 notes. Okay, that's it. That's for for the minor pentatonic scale. 1, flat 3, 4, let me say it again. 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7. That's 5 notes. For the major pentatonic scale, we got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. That's all. That's all it is. Okay. So one thing we need to remember when every time we talk about minor, I think about flat 3. Flat 3, that means you take from the major scale, you take note number 3 and you lower that note 1 fret down. Okay? And that will make it flat. Now if you raise it 1 fret up, that will make it a sharp. So in this case, we're talking about flattening the third note of the C major scale to get flat 3, because that's one of the 5 notes we use to play our minor pentatonic scale. So in that case, the 5 notes for the C minor pentatonic scale, for example, are number 1, C, flat 3, E flat, okay, 4, F, 5, G, and flat 7, B flat. So C, E flat, F, G, B flat. That's the C. That's the 5 notes to play the C minor pentatonic scale. So remember, remember that I said flat 7. So when I'm playing the minor pentatonic scale and I say that I'm playing in the position of 7, that means I'm playing in the position. I'm not thinking about the pentatonic scale. I'm thinking about the note number in the major scale, which was a 7. Then now I make it flat. It becomes flat 7. Okay, so in the C minor pentatonic scale, that would be a B flat. So let me say it again. Let's take C as an example. From the C major scale, we get the 5 note to play the C major pentatonic scale, and there are 1, C, 2, D, 3, E, 5, G, and A, 6. Now for the C minor pentatonic scale, we're going to use the major scale, but we're going to flatten some notes. Okay, so we're going to play 1, C, we're going to play flat 3, E flat, we're going to play 4, F, and we're going to play 5, G, and we're going to play 7. We're going to flatten that. It's going to be B B flat. Okay. So when I'm talking about position of 7 in when I play minor pentatonic scale, I'm not thinking about the number of notes we have in the pentatonic scale. I'm thinking about the major scale or the Dorian scale, something like that. All right. So that's what I wanted to come back and explain today because my videos is mostly for beginners, and I don't want to confuse them. And sometimes being too technical can be confusing. Okay, so you know how to get your scale. You know how to get your scale. I mean, don't make it difficult. Okay, play your major scale and get your 5 notes to play your major pentatonic scale, and play your and lower flat lower number 3 to make it flat 3, and lower number 7 to make it flat 7, and then you can play your minor pentatonic scale. Nothing really hard about it. It's just like you have to be mindful of the scales, or what kind of scales, and the note numbers instead of the letters. I think it's better to use the numbers instead of letters, because then if you use the numbers, you can apply the number to different scales, not just one specific scale. All right, so and so there's one thing that I said yesterday in my video. When you play, one thing I enjoy using the pentatonic scale shape because they are really connected. You don't have and from one shape you get 2 scales, and then you can also get chords from the scale shapes. So since you have 5 notes in the scale, so every time you're playing in a position. It could be position of 3, position of 5, position of 7, depending whether or not it is minor pentatonic or major pentatonic. That's the concept. Nothing really hard about it. Alright, so I think that's all I'm gonna say about pentatonic scale. I'm not gonna spend too much time in the subject, but it's good to know a few things. Like, okay, remember when I say that every the scale shapes are connected, I mean one shape has 2 sections: bottom section and top section. So when if I'm playing in the position of 7th, okay, which is, let's say, E minor pentatonic scale in position of 7, okay, which is the highest note is this. I'm talking about the highest note of the shape, which is here for E minor pentatonic scale. It's going to be D. Okay, so if now let's say let me try to play this scale. Okay, Alright? Okay, that last note is what I use to name the shape. That's the seventh note of the scale of the scale. So not the pentatonic scale, the E major scale, but I flatten the seventh to make it a flat seven. Okay, so now now if I want to if I want to change the position, you know, I can go up or down, but I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna go 2 frets up, which is a whole step. So I go to, okay, I move to the 12th fret, which is a E. Okay, remember I'm playing E minor pentatonic scale. So now this is high E here, 12th fret. Okay, so I change position. Now that was, instead of position of 7, now it's position of 8, which is actually 1, position of 1, but since I was using 7, no, I use 8 because I don't want to be confused. So 7, 8, position of 7. Now I'm in the position of 8. Okay, but the reason why I said that those scales are connected. Now the top part of position 7 shape becomes the bottom part of position 8.